Hello, my name is Judy Borner, and I am the Director of the Office of Learning Services at Utica College. The transition to college for students with disabilities has many aspects that I would like to discuss with you today. When you first think about going to college, what are the positives that you might consider? You choose the college that you want to attend and the programs of study. You work with an advisor regarding the courses that you take and creating your class schedule. And it prepares you for your career field and life skills. In navigating this transition, it is helpful to understand the differences in the laws between high school and college that govern supports and services for students with disabilities. Also, what to expect and how best to prepare are important steps in the planning process. Understanding the differences in the provision of accommodations is critical for your mindset as you begin college. Today, I will also talk about documentation and information that is needed by colleges, resources typically available, and challenges for parents. A brief review of the legal rights and responsibilities at the college level compared to high school provides some better understanding to parents and students of how the accommodation process differs and why. First, the laws that define provision of services are distinctly different at each level. In K through 12, IDEA and Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 define that the schools have to provide a free and appropriate public education in the least restrictive environment and are responsible for identifying and evaluating students and creating the appropriate plan of services, such as an IEP or 504 plan. In this environment, schools provide education services and the curriculum can be modified. At the post-secondary level, we are governed by the ADA and a different subsection of the Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act. At the college level, our responsibility is to ensure access, and students are responsible for self-identifying and providing appropriate documentation. The IEP or 504 plan do not carry over to college, but rather we will use them as a resource in determining appropriate accommodations. There is no special education in college. Accommodations are available for students who choose to use them. The student role as a self-advocate is critical to their success in college. In college, students are expected to understand their disability, what it is called, and what does it mean? How does their disability affect their academic performance? What strategies does the student have for coping and navigating their needs? So as a high school student with a disability, how can you get ready for your responsibilities in college? Some of our suggestions include attending your CSE meetings so that you can interact with others and understand your evaluations and accommodation needs. You need to get comfortable in asking for help and reaching out to others to develop your self-advocacy skills. Explore with your guidance counselor an appropriate program of study. Understand what you generally need to take in a college curriculum for a specific major. In addition to understanding what your disability needs are, continue to work on your personal life skills so that you can be as independent as possible. Understand how you manage your time and what works for your study skills. College requires a lot of organization of your time to plan for attending classes, doing reading and assignments, and studying for exams. Getting involved in clubs is a great way to get connected, but understand how it fits with your time. Have an understanding of how you manage your money and your personal care needs, such as taking your medication. Work on your interpersonal skills and have a planning system that works for you, such as a daily planner that you write in or using Google Calendar or an app on your phone. In general, you will need to take some foundation academic courses such as math and English. Program requirements will vary at every college, so check into their specific curriculum for the majors you are interested in. Colleges do not waive curriculum requirements, but they may have options for course substitutions when appropriate. It is important to clarify these questions with the Disability Services Office at the college that you choose to attend so that you fully understand their requirements. As I mentioned earlier, your IEP or 504 plan do not directly carry over to college, but rather we will use this information to assist us in the interactive process to determine appropriate accommodations for the college environment. You do not need to identify in the application process that you have a disability or receive support services in high school. However, once you make the commitment to attend a college, in order to receive services, you must connect with the Disability or Accessibility Services Office on campus. As you visit college campuses or reach out virtually, connect with the Disability Office to get to know their staff and how they will work with students. As you work with the Disability Office, you will determine together the appropriate accommodations for the college environment. Note some of the differences for that are highlighted here. For example, for testing accommodations, in high school, those were likely coordinated by a teacher. In college, students will work through the process as established by the Disability Office to make their testing arrangements. There is no resource room system in college, but rather students determine which services and supports they choose to use. The documentation typically asked for by college disability offices may include a psychological evaluation that was completed in high school. It could also be a current medical report from a physician regarding a diagnosis and recommendation for accommodations. Students can reach out to the Disability Office if they have a learning, physical, sensory, mental health, psychological, or other diagnosis that creates a barrier and impacts a major life activity. A 504 plan or IEP is helpful information which many colleges will accept as part of the interactive process in determining eligibility for services. Overall, what can the Disability, Accessibility, or Learning Services Office do for you? They will first and foremost work with you to determine your disability and establish their accommodations. They can provide information about college policies, procedures, resources, and answer any other general college-specific questions that you may have. They will work with you to becoming a stronger self-advocate. They can assist in making referrals for other supports and services such as counseling and ACCESS VR. They will work with you to access additional assistive technologies. And in general, if you aren't sure, just ask. If you are a New York State resident, make sure to connect with ACCESS VR. This is a department within the New York State Department of Education that works with any individual with a disability who is seeking employment assistance. They view college as a stepping stone for employment, so they can often assist with funding for tuition, textbooks, and other tools that you may need in the college environment. An ACCESS VR counselor should be connecting with you in high school, but if not, you can go to their website at access.nysed.gov and simply apply for services. So what are the challenges for parents, you ask? Understanding and assisting with paperwork, including online, can be overwhelming. Understanding the differences between high school and college are a huge shift for parents because there may be no direct access to grades, progress reports, attendance, and other reports. Transition from direct involvement in arranging accommodations to being the coach with their child is a huge shift. There is no guarantee of success and completion in college. There's often the issue of exemptions and waivers that students are having trouble understanding. Understand the nature of the relationship between the Disabilities Office and students. And for parents, acknowledge that their child is an adult and help them let go. There are some points to remember for success in navigating the transition from high school to college that we've covered today. So let me summarize. First, develop self-knowledge. Understand, name, and the nature of your disability, and develop your self-advocacy skills. Participate in a college connections or bridge program while in high school. Make realistic choices regarding educational and career goals. Visit and talk with colleges and the Disability Services offices. Develop an understanding of the legal rights and responsibilities that govern both the high school and college levels. Become familiar with the technology and any other assistive technology that is out there to assist you. And develop an exit packet with documentation and information about colleges and other post-secondary options and how to connect with services such as ACCESS VR. For more information about the topics I've covered today, refer to the Office of Civil Rights booklet shown here on the slide. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us, the disability providers of the local colleges in Central New York, and we'll be happy to assist you at any time. Thank you.